lived in Lascelles all my life. I grew up around George's Park. It's a park that I've learned to cycle in. My kids use the park, learning to cycle amongst other things as well, so something that's been quite close to my heart.
I came to Birmingham in the late 70s. We went to a party one night. I looked out of the window and there was this beautiful lake. And I said to the host, I said, "Where's that?" He said, "That's Edgbaston Reservoir." Another guy at the party said, "House next door to me is up for sale." So we moved in. I moved here because of the reservoir.
Been brought up in the area all my life. Also had 3 lovely children who I've raised in this park in terms of doing activities, made some really good friends and just making a difference to the park as well.
I grew up in Sutton Coldfield, so I'm Birmingham born and bred, and I grew up playing in Sutton Park. It was just so lovely to go sledging and picnicking and exploring and all sorts of things. So that probably started off my love of parks and open spaces.
I'm from Teesside originally, and I just left home when I was about 19 and came to Birmingham. I've lived all over Birmingham, done all kinds of different jobs, but for the last 12, 15 years I've been teaching children how to grow vegetables, travelling to schools all around the city, planting vegetables with children, building gardens with them, and then harvesting the produce and cooking it and sharing it together. A healthy eating project, I guess you'd call it.
There's almost 600 parks and open spaces in Birmingham, and that doesn't include the allotments. So people don't believe that, but we are a very green city.
A few people got together with an idea of having a friends group in the park. It's always been a park that's not had the greatest reputation over the years, and we've all grown up around the park, and now we've got our own families of our own as well. I want them to grow up in a nice environment where they can utilise the space. So I just wanted to do what I can and do my bit for the community, for the park.
We've got around about 130 groups in our network across all different sort of parks and open spaces across Birmingham, looking at parks and woodlands and nature reserves and little pieces of green down the road, and lots of litter picking groups who are greening the grey as well. Every volunteer making a difference to their environment is so important.
Friends of Edgbaston Reservoir is about, I hate to say it, over 30 years old now. We really valued this reservoir. The actual respite it gives us in the middle of dense housing and inner city is very unique to this part of Birmingham, because we're less than 2 miles from the city centre, and yet you've got this vast space of beautiful sky and sunsets and sunrises, and we think this should be for everybody.
My main role is going out there and meeting the groups, helping new groups to set up, networking groups together, and just bringing the community together to volunteer for our parks and open green spaces, because you get passionate people together, it's amazing what they can achieve, and there's some wonderful stories out there from a lot of our groups.
We've developed a little garden around the corner, but this one really loved, because this has come together ever so well. We planted this last year with about 25, 30 children, and there must have been maybe the same number of parents, and lots of folks came past and said, "Oh, that won't last 5 minutes, it'll all be gone, people will stand on it, people will steal the plants," and a year on, they haven't done it. People are looking after it, and people are stopping and admiring it as they have been today, and it makes you feel very proud when it works well like that.
If you speak to people who use the reservoir just in terms of walking around and communing with nature, they always tell you how much it raises their spirits. So just that circuit going round, which is about 2.5 kilometres, and you're just surrounded by greenery, it is quite a tonic for you, and something that could be used by far more people.
When we see people come together and do a simple activity like just tending to a flower bed, it might seem like a small thing, but actually it's just a nice way to catch up with neighbours. It's a nice way to build a stronger sort of community within our neighbourhood.
We have less open spaces in deprived areas in terms of Lascelles, Bordesley Green, Small Heath, and it's made us realise that having open spaces is fundamentally what we need.
Over COVID and the lockdowns, when we were barely allowed to leave our houses, and the nearest place that we can get to do a bit of exercise or even just keep our mental health in check is our local park. There's so many different communities within Birmingham, and especially Lascelles, I think, represents the diversity. If you pick an area in Birmingham that has a strong, diverse community, it's Lascelles.
Yeah, I've met so many people from so many different countries in Birmingham and really enjoyed it. And I've always found something to do that has given me pleasure and has hopefully been useful to the community as well.
If I've had a really busy day or slightly stressed about something, just going for a walk with the dogs in the woodland, it just makes me feel so much better.
The reservoir, it's not just a place, it's a community. And it's a community of insects, of birds, of plants. Yes, we're all part of a natural context, a part of a web, where we're all interrelated, all interconnected.
I'd love to save the world, but unfortunately I can't do that on my own. It's about having the passion and the right people around you to push forward the dream that you've always wanted.
Any excuse for the community to get together, really, I think is a good thing.